We're back, ladies and gentlemen, for the third hour of tonight's proceedings. So, my good misfits, when we rejoin you, when we flip the page, we see Trespass and Vanguard moving across the rooftops and streets and passageways of Halcyon City on their way to Trespass's place of residence. When upon a sudden, one of you gets alerted to a tweet that has entered your rotation by whatever chain of people needs to retweet this for you to get it. And it is of a police blockaded mess. Like the cops are trying to like keep people away and like cordoning off an area. It is a photo of the scene outside of Moira's house. Now you've been there recently.
Blood everywhere because she was killed. Oh, she was not killed, but a man was killed, and there's a dead guy inside, and
yeah, it's not like a
ambulance taking someone out, and
it's a photo that shows things have definitely gone down, though it's not immediately and overtly graphic, because whomever took it is like from their phone didn't run up to poke the corpse, and the cops took them off it. But yeah, so the point is that having been there recently, you absolutely recognize the building. Something has gone down at Moira's house.
Ooh, is the poor injured car still there?
Mm-hmm.
The little siren car.
Yeah.
Poor thing. Had a person run through it. Feels violated.
Right,
I should mention instantly, before we go on, that this tweet also finds its way to Recon. Now, please go on.
I think Trespass stops and takes a look at this, this telephone tweet thing, because for one thing, she's confused as to why her telephone goes off. She has barely anyone, coded into that phone.
Well, if you're not on Twitter, maybe it's Vanguard getting the message.
No, I was about to say I might follow.
She is on
Susan's
Twitter.
friend.
She is on Twitter, but she has no followers, and she isn't following anyone herself. She's pretty much like me. She's got a Twitter account that is devoid of activity for the most part.
Oh.
I was
going to say Vanguard may follow like Susan Ramirez just to see the crap that she says.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. She does wave Vanguard down when she realizes what the hell is on the phone.
Yeah, he stops and comes over to your rooftop.
Take a look at this.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. That's pretty much what I thought. Exactly those words.
We should probably head that direction.
Yeah, I think we should.
I'm going to give Recon a call.
Yeah, you do that, and yeah, let's see if we can't meet up with him on the way so that we'll arrive at the same time.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
thank you.
I punch in Recon's number.
Yeah.
Or I guess hit his contact and call him.
Recon, Vanguard is calling.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, boop, beep.
Oh, please tell me he has some kind of cheesy ringtone when he calls you.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the ringtone I had for the longest time. Hello, there is an idiot calling you.
I
He's still
imagine.
calling. Say, are you going to pick up the phone? The idiot is still on the line.
It's something probably just for fan service, just something in style of "It's Raining Men" or something like that.
Yes.
Of course.
Just get out of the
It's
closet
raining
already.
No, never. I already redecorated the closet, and I'm not getting out. Yeah. Yeah, he's picking up the phone. Like, hello.
Have you seen what's gone down at Moira's place?
Let me check. Like, he probably puts his phone away, goes on Twitter, just like, oh, oh, oh.
Yeah. I think we should all meet up there. Trespass and I are already on our way.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll see you there. I'll see you there, I suppose.
So the three of you arrive in the following panel. The section the building, Moira's house, is cordoned off by police tape and the presence of several vehicles. There is, of course, at least 2 news vans because it's a shooting of Aegis agents in a rich neighborhood. And there are concerned citizens, but not a dense throng of people, because not enough people live here for that. So that's the scene you're being greeted to as you arrive on the corner of that street.
So we definitely recognize them as agents of Aegis.
The van leaves no mistake. The van has their. I mean, I guess someone could spray paint any SUV with the Aegis logo, but.
When Vanguard sees that, he tenses up and gets angry.
All right. What are you feeling? Tell me about your emotions.
He knew that Agent Wilson had told him that they were investigating Moira, but having armed men at her house, he didn't expect that.
Indeed. I don't believe. Also, I believe you didn't.
The Spanish Inquisition.
I want to ask you. I don't believe you told Moira she was being investigated. Did you?
Nope.
No, I did not.
Okay. Yeah. Just leaving that hanging there.
You never got the chance, if I remember correctly.
I mean, you have phones. But yeah, sure. Go, move on.
Just jam it in there and start wriggling it, will you?
That's why I'm here.
Tell her you didn't tell her. Step.
Twist.
Yes.
That sort of thing.
I wonder why
something
Go on, Yo.
should be. I said something like that is, in any case, something that should be said face to face because you don't know who's listening in if she's under investigation.
No, what do you mean? The Patriot Act definitely didn't happen. No, yeah, sure.
I'm sorry, but anyone who makes something like the Patriot Act and feels a need to actually find alliteration so that it fits the what is it called? Come on. I mean, the USA Patriot Act is an abbreviation for Uniting and Strengthening America by providing appropriate tools required to intercept and obstruct terrorism acts. It is quite literally alliteration on USA Patriot. In order, what kind? Why?
It does.
Why?
It feels like a circus. I'll admit that.
It feels like something out of a Donald Duck magazine. Sorry. Anyway.
Yes. So, the ball is in your court as you arrive on the street.
What do we see when we arrive in that street? How many people are there? That sort of thing.
A bunch of locals, but again, as I mentioned, not enough for there to be a dense throng because not enough people live here. There is police. There's investigators. There are 2 news vans. And then there are some locals. Someone is walking a dog too, and
I look at
a little crowd.
I look at the other 2, and I say, I could get in there without being seen and see what's going on, if you want me to.
Well,
Or we could start by knocking on the door by the neighbor, because that's where Entry lives. But I'm not sure he wants to see me.
I mean, and then well, as I was just going to mention that we are missing an entry.
Yeah, I would normally start with that as well, but given what's happened yesterday, I really don't think he would like to see me right now. You haven't heard about that.
Yeah, I feel like I missed something. Says the guy with like literally that see looks like he's been through a fight.
Right. This is maybe this is when you noticed that probably.
Yeah.
You were in such a rush to get here, right? Like.
Yeah.
Oh, we met up here. That's what.
That's definitely what that is.
So
yeah. Recon looks like shit. But yet full of life, I think.
Well, more than usual.
What the hell have you been doing anyway?
He spits a little bit blood. Meeting with old friends.
Right. Your friends are worse than my old friends.
He turns to Vanguard. It's like, oh, by the way, Mark is okay.
Thalmid, are you with us?
I say, well, what do you mean, okay?
Well, he can apparently throw a punch now. Spits some blood again.
Mark did this to you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's something we're gonna have to revisit later. Let's deal with this right now.
Oh yeah. Coming back. So why is Entry missing?
Because this is gonna be problematic to explain. Suffice to make. Can I make it short without you flipping out?
No promises are being made, but continue.
All right, I'm his half sister, and I killed our father.
He just silently slowly turns to Vanguard.
She told me first. It's there's more to it than that. We'll revisit that later, I guess, as well.
I did say I would make it short.
You weren't lying.
Tell me what you feel, Recon. Talk to me about your emotions.
Tell me about your childhood.
Well, he's feeling a bundle of emotions right now. It's like, it's a. I don't like. This day was really long for him, and it was full of like ups and downs, and we were like, it was like, this is like, This is much. This is well, definitely something.
Yes, it is. It's a lot.
I mean, just so be clear with you, the only reason that I'm not trying to knock you out right now is because I trust him. And I mean, it to be completely honest, but I mean, he looks at Vang as like, we're gonna have words about this.
I think a team meeting is probably in order.
No, not even team meeting. You and I, we're gonna have words on this.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, let's
just
go. Let's just go. I mean, the longer we stay in this island is like the more prompts there is to that something will happen, that we will.
Yeah, let's do something.
regret,
But
like-
just one last thing, if it's any
So-
consolation, it was entirely unintentional.
So I have a move I want to use once we get done here.
Tell me about that. Tell me about that.
The move I want to use is straight up creeping, and it allows me to scope out a person or place.
Okay.
When I scope out a person or place, roll plus mundane. On a 10 up, ask 2. On a 7 to 9, ask 1. It's what's my best way in and out, what happened here recently, what here is worth grabbing, who or what here is not what they seem, and whose place is this. On a miss, you find yourself over your head. The GM will tell you why this is a bad spot.
Okay. So I infer from this that you want to go and scope the place out.
Yep.
I
Okay.
actually would like to do something before that, if
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
possible. Just before we sort of move from here, because what I want to do is I want to pierce the mask of Recon, because he's clearly taking this personal. If you know, even though
Yeah.
the way Yoon sees it, yeah, she realizes that she's done some pretty bad shit in her past. But on the other hand, the others were aware of the fact that she had a dark past beforehand.
Definitely.
And now he's reacting like he just did. So she wants to pierce the mask to see what he is actually, you know, what is actually going on behind those eyes of his, what he's actually thinking about her at this moment.
Clearly, he is clearly like he's in like an emotionally fraught spot, right? Like we.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is a good time to do it, I think.
Yeah.
Please roll plus mundane.
Yes. And let's see if I have influence. I do. That's an extra +1. There you go.
Bam.
So
There we go. Crushed. All right. So let's have a look here at when masks get pierced.
is that moves 1 or 2?
So this move works the same for NPCs as it does for PCs, I believe.
Yeah.
So you get to ask 3 questions from the list, and it's on moves 1.
It's on moves 1.
In addition,
Here's the
you
last. Here we
have you
I
have
have an
some
extra-
certain somethings.
I have an extra question which I intend to use.
Right. What are your questions?
It is. My questions are: what are you really planning? What do you want me to do? And what was your darkest moment?
Well, I think you can ask 3 of those and that extra one of yours.
I can ask 3 questions from
this
the
list.
list, but I add that to the list. I have an extra question I can choose to ask.
Okay.
Okay. So just to remind everyone that I'm going to have you repeat the questions you want to ask. But
Yeah, sure.
what are you really planning is about long-term plans, overarching goals, and intent, not immediate intent.
Yes, but that's still important for her because you know this could have long-term implications for the group as a whole.
Yep. It should. I should add for the benefit of you, Recon. The answer to this can be nothing if that is true, but of course you must answer truthfully.
Actually, let me change that to what do you know? It's because you're right. It's more important to know about the immediate. So it would be what do you want me to do, and what do you intend?
Yeah. What do you intend? What do you want me to do? Puts a focus on another person's vision and ideas for how they want you to act.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you intend to do is about immediate short-term plans right here, right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go then one by one. First question is what do you intend to do? Well, currently first he's in I don't know, do you want this to be like her read on him or just she like he's asking this somehow in character?
No, I think she reads the first 2 questions, but I think she's going to ask the last one out
Okay.
loud, and
Yeah.
and I'm gonna formulate that in a
Okay.
if that's all right with everyone.
Yeah, it's fine. So what he intends to do is just immediately resolve the situation, and what he said, he's probably going to have an argument with Vanguard about about life choices.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? What he currently wants her to do is he wants her currently to
That's a good question, isn't it?
It is. It's a great question. It's always nice to look in. It's always nice to look inwards.
Yeah. I don't think he wants her to do anything except just, for now, like, do not make you do like. It's bad enough. Do not make it. Do not make it worse.
Yes.
Worse. I do
Yes.
not. I do not want. I do like. I I trust this man. I trust this man, and like if he trusts you, like
Yeah, I think I get
like,
what you mean.
this is just like it's like
I don't like what I've just been told,
yeah.
but he still trusts you, so I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, but don't
So-
fuck things up and make them worse. Am I right?
Yeah, so like tread lightly, thin ice ahead.
And then when she seems to realize that that's what's going on, she just looks at him, and there's genuine sorrow and sadness on her face when she says, "Have you never done something that you hate yourself for?"
Again, what was the finish on that question? This one.
Have you never done something that you hate yourself for?
That is
Yeah.
actually like really poignant, because you're just reading him, right? You're
Yeah.
looking at him in quiet as he's being obviously like perturbed, and
Yeah.
then like just reading it on his face, right? Then you offer that question of like, let me counter your unspoken judgments.
Yes, exactly. That's precisely what she's doing.
He looks at her like being like, "Oh, I've done plenty. I've done plenty, but nobody died."
Ouch.
She keeps looking at him. There's clearly something there about can't leave it hanging like that. That's basically what you see on her face, is that be honest here.
So he hangs there for a moment, like with looking at, like, yeah. I have failed this team. I have failed my friends before. I have, due to my mishaps, my friend got crippled and now hunts me with a vengeance. I sold out my team before because I didn't see any other thing. But I have, I think, paid for my. I have paid and atoned for what I did, and it still will haunt me.
I'm paying
Are
and
you-
atoning every day of my life, and then she leaves it at that.
Awesome. I have a question for you, Brain. I want to know
Yeah.
something about the presentation, about how Recon is drawn in that panel. Is it like a reactionary sort of like burst of like, I've done this, yeah, okay, but I've paid for it, or is it like a reflective, like sad thing, or what do you look like in that panel when you say this to
I imagine he looks very tense, but with like this kind of like this kind of very very intense eyes, like this wide eyes, like very bloodshot, like very bloodshot eyes, very tiny pupils.
Right. Like this is
Like-
clearly like
like-
something that is.
It's still unresolved.
Yeah.
It's still buggering him hard, clearly, mentally.
Yeah. Solid. I love it. That's
And then-
that's awesome.
And then after that, he just walks away towards like Entry's house.
Entry's
and-
entry.
Yeah, Entry's entrance. Just giving like this wide-eyed, like semi maybe semi-psychotic just glance at Vanguard and just moves over.
All right, solid. So that happened. That was awesome. While this is going on,
I
Vanguard
like that move.
is
by the way.
straight up creep. What move is that, by the way?
The one I just used.
Yeah.
I love that move. It's called Wrong Side of the Tracks.
Awesome. Love it.
Best move.
The playbooks in this game are just so juicy. I love how on point this game is with its design. Vanguard, you're straight up creeping.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, would you please resolve that move for me?
Hot dang.
Oh, there they are. Look at the successes coming out in order. Okay, cool. Let's investigate straight up creeping.
Okay. So on a 10 plus, I get to ask 2 questions.
All right.
The questions I'm going to ask are what happened here recently, and who or what here is not what they seem.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, good one.
Yes. Okay. In the words of Willem Dafoe, there was a firefight. That is honestly what happened here recently. That is that's what went down.
Uh-huh.
Someone was shot. 2 people were shot from behind. Based on you being straight up Batmaning this. Just like looking at because like the I suppose this is still like people have like probably still been left out. Like little evidence markers and chalk lines. So 2 people were shot from behind. There was an altercation with the Aegis vehicle. Someone was dragged inside the house. A lot of shots were discharged out of the house in the direction of the street. A couple of misses, hither and thither. But yeah, like that's like what you see to piece together what happened. You know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And who or what here is not what they seem. Yes, indeed. So there are people here who are what they seem to be. However, there is a person in the crowd, just wearing a windbreaker and a baseball cap, who is here studying this place, not just like not just being like a random observer. He's not just a nobody. He is clearly like here for a reason, and he is observing the situation with a different interest than what you find in the people who are like having shock conversations about crimes and neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm. I think when I see him, I get entry or trespass and recon's attention. I go, look there.
Recon is over at Entry's house, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. He took off. I get trespass's
Yep,
attention.
definitely. She's gonna be attentive and
Yeah. I kind of like point to the different evidence markers. I'm like, looking here, it looks like someone was shot from behind.
Yeah.
Looks like there were shots fired back into the street in the other direction.
Right.
But look at that guy there. The one with the windbreaker and the baseball cap. He's out of place in all of this.
Yeah, he does look like he's. He doesn't look like he really wants to be seen, does he?
No.
He's being
it looks
almost.
like
He's being almost too inconspicuous with that.
Exactly. I think we should probably go and talk to him.
Do you want to do the talking, and I can keep an eye on things, or should we both go, or how do you want to do this?
As you're observing him,
Uh-huh.
like he's standing on the same side of the police line as you are, but on the opposite side of its outline, right? So he's like there's a crowd between you.
Mhm.
An Aegis investigator in a black suit walks like along the police line, exchanges some words like seemingly at random with a patrolman who's like keeping the crowd back and making sure that like people don't take photos and so on. And then the agent does a subtle handoff to the guy, and the guy turns around and leaves immediately. His interest in this place seemingly evaporating.
I'd definitely go after him.
Hell yeah.
All right. Yeah. What do you do?
Do you want me to get the others?
Yeah.
While
Tell
you-
them what's happened.
Yes, I will. Right. She darts back towards the towards Entry's house.
Yeah. You.
Yeah, and I
catch
take
up
off
to
after
Recon.
him.
And you follow the other guy.
Yep.
Cool.
I'm calling out to Recon as I get closer.
Recon, you're like you're at the door when Trespass suddenly like is like running up to you.
Does she shout? Does she shout at him?
She doesn't shout, but she I
Oh.
mean, she calls out for him.
Yeah. It's like he's just rolling his eyes, just like when he's like his back is turned to her, he rolls his eyes like. So what now? We're supposed to.
There was a handoff. Vanguard has gone after the guy who got something from the Aegis agent. We need to get the
God,
other
and
two
you-
and follow.
And you let him go alone.
You're turning like to look. You see
We
Vanguard
need
like
to get the other two and follow him
Okay.
right away. I'm going now.
Yeah,
She turns back around.
go get them. I'll help. I'll have Aaron.
Bad choice.
I mean, she's already turned around and is running back towards where Vanguard was. So she's, she's going.
what do you do, Recon?
He just puts his like a he starts calling an entry on his phone, entry like calling entry,
Mhm.
and then like phone him, and then puts like a one of those like speaking things on in the Bluetooth thing. I don't remember how they called. Like the beat in his headset thing, and he just basically started like powered. While he's calling, his powers up and starts super speed parkouring after like towards the thing, still calling the.
Friendly warning here now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't or shouldn't
Mhm.
do this, but friendly warning. You are like right there in full view of a bunch of investigators and cops and people.
I mean,
Like
Is-
they're
well,
across
is
the
he in-
street from you.
I mean, I thought we were like, because those are like posh houses. I thought we were like somewhere in between the front gate and the front door. 2 entries out, just because those are like, you know, rich people houses. But yeah, other than that, he's just okay. He just like. So yeah, does he care at this point? I mean, he was never so hot on the secret identity thing anyway. I mean, yeah, he probably just yeah, he starts calling entry and just like, I mean, takes a little bit away from them, just to not be directly in front of them, and just
Right,
and then
you do the Barry Allen.
slowly start speeding up.
You do the Barry Allen. You're like, I'm
Yeah.
just like walking really fast here. Oh, I broke line of sight.
Yeah, and basically that entire time he's calling entry.
Cool. All right. So both of you like slip after Vanguard. Enter, your phone's ringing.
I guess that wakes him up.
Probably. Moira, entry is waking up.
Also, his phone is ringing.
Entry, your phone is vibrating. Moira, your entry is vibrating.
I think Moira is just doing what she normally does when she tries to make the alarm clock shut up. This means she ends up patting Entry on the head, trying to find the button to make it shut up.
What? I'm up.
Kill phone.
You know what? At
Right.
least your reaction to waking up isn't just stretching and like crushing Entry in your coils.
The whole idea is not waking up.
Right. Entry picks up the phone. Well, first he tries to turn it off because he thinks it's an alarm.
It's not.
What? He says as he picks up the telephone.
Well, are you at yours?
What?
Are you at your house?
I'm in it.
You're the worst.
Okay. Bye.
Wait. Did you
Entry
actually hang
hangs
up?
up.
Entry, shut up. I'm trying to sleep.
Did you actually
Alright.
hang up?
Yes.
Okay, he calls you again.
Entry,
Motherfucker.
make it shut up. Boop, pat.
Your phone makes itself known again.
What?
Can you please meet me? And he sends him a location where he is.
Right, can you meet me along
Why?
this street?
Yeah.
Why?
Cause I asked you, is Moira with you?
Yeah.
Because I assume, because we are just probably chasing something involved with the mess that you both made. Well, she made, or something made at her house. I don't know.
I'm sure you've got it.
I'm sure I need you here. I got them find you and slap you.
Don't call again or I'll make your phone explode.
Well, yeah, I make your head explode in a
Let's
fucking.
talk. Let's
No,
talk about
you know what?
this.
You know,
Let's talk about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Are you being like, no, you need to come with me right now. I'm provoking you.
yeah.
Cool. You can provoke him over the phone.
That's-
Absolutely.
Because he sound urgent. He doesn't sound just really like just being like oh come to hang out.
Yeah. Right. You should feel. I guess the question is, is Entry susceptible to what you're saying? I feel like Entry is because you're a teammate, but do you have
And I
influence
mean,
over-
I have influence over him.
Then
I
the
have
answer is
influence
yes.
over everybody.
The answer is 100% yes. He is
Sure.
susceptible.
I wish to resist.
Well, let's do the provoke thing.
What's provoke? So
Because
okay.
he's
So
provoking you
it's-
right now.
Okay.
If the provoke fails, something will happen, right? But he could also be like, I'm going to leverage the influence, in which case that then like changes the scope of what we're doing.
I'm just double checking if I have any bonuses to provoking. I don't think I do, but except just okay. Wait, wait. It's
Yes?
plus 0. It should be plus because I have plus.
Do you have
No,
a condition?
yeah, no. I have a condition. The condition gives me -2. I have superior at +3, and +1 from having influence over you. So actually, that should be a 8, because the roll the roll is basically just flat 2d6
All right.
for some reason.
All right. So, cool. So you are rolling a partial success here.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to make a choice, since this is so provoke works differently for PCs.
Yeah.
You get to choose if you will offer the carrot or the stick. Will you say if you do it, you get to add a team to the pool, or if Entry doesn't do it, he takes a condition.
If they don't do it, they mark a condition. He's being pretty strict about it.
Right. You seem like you would be in a stick mood.
Yeah.
What will Entry elect to do?
So if I don't do it, I mark a condition.
This is correct.
Oh, you can still refuse him, but you will feel somehow bad about it.
I'm going to mark guilty. But Entry says, "Look, dude, I already know what happened. Just let me sleep."
Oh, you know what? Next time I'll see you, we're gonna have words, and then Recon just hangs up.
Cool.
And
So
now I
He
feel
did the
guilty.
thing to you that you wanted to do to him.
Grr.
Grr.
So there you go. Mark guilty. You have refused his provocation. So the two of you go to catch up with Vanguard. Vanguard, you're in the Vanguard! Hooray!
Woo!
What's going on? What are you doing?
Is this guy, how fast is he taking off? Is he just walking, or?
Right now he's just he's walking at a very brisk pace.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly with a purpose.
Yeah. I'm still, I believe, in my costume.
That's
because we
great.
didn't really change.
That does have like some funny retroactive implications for the artwork we've seen in the panels. Like when you're standing in the crowd of people pointing at things, like there are different people looking at you. Being like,
True.
What in the?
I think I'm going to try and see if I can like zip up to a building rooftop and drop over and like cut off his path.
Yeah, absolutely you can.
Awesome.
So you make yourself known as you dip down in front of him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as I get in front of him, I'm just like, "Where are you going?"
1 second. So I see you asking a question there in chat, AJ. So the short answer is that Entry like said, "No, I'm not going," and then like hung up. Now, if you want to be like, "No, we're like, dude, I'm doing something different from you," you can just say it, and then we'll have Moira do something. But Entry elected to not go.
Yeah, I mean, Moira heard the conversation. She was right next to him. Maybe you didn't hear exactly what I was saying,
I'm
but
pretty
like,
sure she doesn't know what the man says in the phone.
yeah, but
Just that
you
it
heard,
was being noisy.
yeah, but you heard, and I quote, "I know already what happened, and just let me sleep."
Sure.
Feel free to question him about it.
Yeah.
Later.
You can do whatever you want. All right. So in that case, am I to understand that Moira remains like coiled up and is like, yeah, you know what? I'm too tired and also shot for this.
For now, just continue what you were doing.
All right, we'll do that. So Vanguard, let's return to you. Your question, please. What was your line again? I forgot.
Yeah, as I drop down in front of him, I go, "Where are you going?"
He stops, looks at you, and then he like pointedly ignores you and like tries to walk around. He walks to the other side of the street to like, I'm just gonna go over here and like ignore you.
Yeah. Definitely just gonna get back in front of him again and be like, "Okay, let me ask this. What did Aegis hand off to you?"
As you do this, yeah, totally. Okay, so, yeah, okay, I got this. So you step in front of him and you wanna like shake this guy down.
Yeah.
I'm sensing here that you're trying to provoke this person.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? Sure. Make the roll. I'll
Awesome.
take it.
And that is superior?
It is superior.
Okay. Any bonuses or penalties?
Yeah, take -1.
Damn. Woo!
Ugh, rough.
That didn't work out.
Yeah, okay. So I know exactly what that is. So you're like, what did Aegis hand off to you? And you're like body blocking him, right?
Yeah.
And as you do that, he like moves to like continue in your direction. And once he's inside like arm's reach, he like his arm shoots out and he grabs you like across the wrist, puts your arm in a lock and like throws you sideways into like the gutter of the street.
Yeah.
And then he reaches towards his ear and he shouts something in Korean. Now we don't get the subtitled because there's no one here speaking Korean yet. Trespass is inbound. But he shouts something in Korean, and a couple of like motorcycles in a nearby like driveway like roar to life, and some people like sip out of there and like zoom towards him. Behind you, as you're like picking yourself off the ground, Trespass and Vanguard zoom into the scene. Just in time to see Vanguard get tossed in the gutter, and a couple of helmet-wearing motorcycle people like come zooming towards this guy.
Right. At that point, I draw the 2 jite I have in my hair,
Mm-hmm.
and I throw one of them at each of these motorcycles in order to blow out their tires.
Awesome. Roll to unleash your powers, will you?
I'll try.
Woof.
Nope. Miss. What?
No,
It's,
not at all. Not at all.
Potential.
The Jite zoom to like we get the slow-mo shot of them like zooming forwards and like striking like into the tires of the bikes. And for some reason they bounce. Your aim is spot on. But clearly these are like these aren't just
armored tires.
These aren't just bikes. And this is of course like this says something to you immediately, like as a like I guess it would to the heroes as well, but to you as a villain in particular, right? Like, oh, this is an operation. People have come prepared for this.
Could this be something the armorer has something to do with?
It could be. It could also just not be, but yeah.
No, but I mean, you know, armored tires on motorcycles is
He
not
deals in
standard
all
issue.
stuff. He deals in all sorts of stuff. This could very well be some of it. But
In
yeah,
any
so-
case, that means that her hair falls loose, but she's used to that anyway.
So the Jute like bounce off the tires, like skid into like skid into the road. The motorcycles like whir up next to the guy, and he like leaps onto one of them, shouts in Korean, but he's shouting like go go go, and then both of
I
the
shout
bikes
after.
gun it.
I shout after them in that case. I need to formulate this correctly, but she keeps running towards them, obviously, because she needs to see if she can somehow find a way of intercepting them.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't stop her from shouting at them, "Even a bloody rose can be plucked, and I will."
Cool. So, what about the rest of you? What are you doing?
Well, yeah, Recon just speeds past Trespass, and when the guy jumps onto the motorcycle and shouts "Go, go, go!" He's literally trying to grab the. What he's trying to do basically to grab the back seat and suplex the bike.
I love that. I love that.
Absolutely. Why don't you roll to unleash your powers there for me?
This is
Come
going
on,
to
do
go
better than me,
swimmingly.
please. Yes.
We did it.
So will you take a condition?
Suplex the world.
Will you take a condition, or shall I inform you how this is temporary or unstable?
I mean, sure. I will mark my last condition that I don't have marked.
Shit.
Boop.
Okay.
One more condition, and he will be out.
So the bikes like take off, and they're about to make a corner when you catch up to them. They're still inside of the others. They've only like gone like a little ways. As you like suddenly grab onto one of them, like the one that the guy is on, that the person you were stalking is on, and then you just like grab it and heave it.
Yeah.
Solid job there.
Yeah, basically he German suplex the bike. He just grabs it and throws it behind him.
You like throw the bike. Both of the rider and the driver like careen off it. One of the other bike, the guy on the other bike, wheels his bike around, extends a hand holding a submachine gun, points it in your direction, and squeezes the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what he will try to do? He will. I mean, he will probably try to. No. Squeeze the trigger. Okay, so again, he would. Will he? I mean, he will probably try to like dodge roll out of the way. Just like no.
Solid. All right. Sure. Please give me. Yeah, you want to dodge machine gun fire? Roll to unleash your powers again.
Yeah. Now the roll probably will be significantly worse.
Worse is it necessary to ask this?
Well,
Is
rolling
it only
at,
him, or
rolling at -3.
or should the rest of us also roll for that, or does he not spray bullets far enough?
He's lined up his targets pretty.
I think
Okay, sure,
because
no problem.
Yeah, I think they are currently like the opponents are between me and you because I throw them behind me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to be sure.
Absolutely. So, will
God.
you take a condition, or shall we talk about how it's unstable or temporary?
Well, I think it's unstable.
All right. So, as you power up and you speed up to avoid the bullet fire, you get like one or two shots like that like zip past you in Matrix time, and we'd like see this like drawn as like a perspective shot of these like streaks that represents the bullets zipping between a blurry version of you. Yeah. And then because you're like using super speed to like dodge and weave and so on, you just find yourself like embedded. Like suddenly you like you dive into like a steel fence, like along the side of the pavement, like hemming in a garden of some like fancy house, and you just like bang into it, and you're a tough dude, and you're doing it with a lot of momentum, so it bends around you, and you kind of like suddenly like you have to like squeeze your way out of it and like untangle yourself from this like sudden metal net that's like trapped you under your own power. the guy whom you were stalking, who is careening through the air, lands on his feet, grabs into his pocket, throws a thing to the guy with the submachine gun, who grabs it. He's like on the remaining bike, right? And he stops firing at you and guns the engine. What are the other two of you doing?
I'm going to fire after his bike. I'm going to fire a anchoring arrow and then fire a grappling hook arrow to grab his bike and keep it anchored in place.
Awesome. What about you, Trespass?
I'm going to, I'm going to have a moment of Assassin's Creed here, and use a couple of trash cans with a convenient white cloth over them to get up higher. Swing myself forward by ways of the vertical pole sticking out of a building, which is obviously going to be there.
You grab onto the nearby Gothic church being constructed.
Something along those lines, and then I'm going to come down behind this guy and use the hook sword to grab the collar of his clothes and pull him off as just basically. I don't care if the bike continues, his forward momentum stops there.
Awesome. All right, so let's have both of these things go down. So the first one that gets resolved is the firing of the shot of the arrow. Please, I think what you're doing here is this could be directly engaging. It could also be unleashing your powers.
I was gonna say more directly engaging. But yeah. I'm game for whatever.
I'm inclined to agree.
Okay.
You know what? Yeah, sure.
Oh boy, here we go. Whew, yeah.
Woof.
I was afraid of that.
So you fire the arrow. It shoots into like the bike and you fire the grappling hook. It like angers the bike. One of the pilot of the other bike, the driver of the other bike, jumps forward, producing like this nasty looking serrated hooked blade, like has like this weirdly Asian feel to it, and like brings it down on top of the cable. The cable snaps and the bike breaks free. Your shot was on point, but this guy has like a couple of good point men to guard him. Then you missed. Okay, cool. So the arrow like snaps free momentarily thereafter. The same person, like in his other hand, produces a set of shuriken and slings them towards you. Please, you know what? Yeah, sure. Like let's have you roll to take a powerful blow.
Okay. Whew.
Solid. All right, so tell me how you stand strong. Is this like a cool dodge or?
No, I think as he snaps the cable and throws the shuriken, I grab 2 arrows at once, fire and deflect both shuriken.
Oh, that's so awesome!
That is cool.
Fantastic.
Oh, that is cool.
Oh, I love it. That's so cool. Okay, so that happens. Meanwhile, you're catching up to the bike Trespass. Please unleash your powers for me as you slyly acrobat your way into this position.
That's absolutely fine.
Once you're there, you can directly engage this guy.
Let me see me fail this one.
I mean, sure, if you want to.
Woo! No, it's a hit.
Yeah, look at that. Solid. Okay, so will you take a condition to do this, or would you like me to tell you how it's temporary or unstable?
I'll take a condition.
Alright. What are you like? What feeling suddenly comes upon you, and why? If you have a good idea.
She's not. She is actually in. She's pretty sure that there's no such thing as coincidence, and these guys are speaking Korean. She's pretty sure where they're from, what they, who they are, which means that, it's a feeling of, can't you just leave me the hell alone? Can I not escape that part of my life? So he gets angry.
All right, mark you're angry. Solid. Okay. you clear the path, right? Maybe we see you like run along the you leap like onto a trash can and like onto the fence that that Recon like bent into. But once the fence like starts bending out of shape, you leap over the two other assailants and land in front of the bike while the wheel is like spinning just after the cable is being cut. You like alight in front of it, blocking the guy's path. Roll to directly engage, please. You can totally like try and like throw this guy around now.
Okay. Give it a shot. Actually, I would rather than throwing him around, I'd like to pin him. But, sure.
Yeah, but you get to tell me what you're doing. Right?
Nice.
Look at that. That's a full hit. All right, cool. So you get to pick some options from the list.
Yes. Well, I withstand his. I withstand his blow.
Okay.
Resist or avoid their blows, and in this case, I'm going to avoid because being nimble and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to take his. I'm going to pin him, so I'm going to take his freedom of movement from him.
That's awesome.
And I'm going to do that by getting him on the ground, and then I have, I place the hook swords in a cross over his neck, not very tightly. I don't want him to to suddenly cut his own throat by accident, but tightly enough that he can't get his head out from under it. So basically, I pin him like that.
Solid.
And then I lean down and I hiss in his face what I just wrote I Google Translate is amazing. So she leans down and hisses those Korean words in his face, and basically what she's saying is, "Tell the Blood Rose I will kill every last one of them."
Well, that's
Okay.
not what it translates it to.
Cool.
Nope, but that is what it says.
Rad. So, yeah.
Can hereby conclude Google Translate is not that good.
Nope,
It's
it never is.
I mean, it's getting there. It's working.
They're getting
Algorithm.
better. They're getting better.
There is a reason there's a YouTuber who can make a living on Google translating songs and singing them.
Oh,
that's
yes.
So good. So yeah, you avoid his blows, right? So we get like a panel of, as you're like landing in front of him, he like tries to do like a roundhouse kick, and you just like dip under it, like weave your swords
Sweep.
around his leg, and like
Yeah.
use his momentum against him, get him on the ground, and then do the thing like cross
Yeah.
your weapons on top of him. The guy is down with you on top of him. You got him under control. Meanwhile, behind you, Recon, what's up, dude? You're untangling yourself from a piece of fence. The rider, the person you were initially stalking, like turns to look at you and like reaches into his windbreaker and produces a blade and like comes towards you. What do you do?
Basically, like he's like, is it one of those like metal bar fences?
Yes.
What he does, like if he's like wedged into it, he's like, and he like basically tries to rip out the part of the fence and just smack the guy with it. Just
Okay, sure, do it. Roll to directly engage.
yeah, or is it directly engage or just unleashing powers?
Oh, you're directly engaging.
Okay, just making sure. To be fair, it's better for me.
Meleeing him with the fence. I'm into it.
Did-
Okay. So take that
all the
choice.
conditions. All I have all the conditions in the world.
So nice.
Direct engage. So it's first I want to impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition, and other I want to take something from them, and it's just his ability to move. Just pin him with the fence.
Solid. Okay, cool. So yeah, he's definitely surprised, and you have definitely impeded his movement. So the thing happens, right? So but you didn't avoid his blows.
Yeah.
So we need to resolve that. So there is a. No, we should have you. You're not super tough. I mean, you're a fucking tough guy, but you're not super tough in the comic book sense. So let's have you roll to take a powerful blow, please.
Okay, so it's just oh my god, Opus.
Okay.
Nice.
So you take a full hit. Please take your pick from the list. Now this doesn't mean the rest of your move doesn't come to pass.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about what this means. So you must either remove yourself from the situation. Yeah. Okay, I guess you have the move in front of you. Just what would you like to pick?
I mean, he probably just is. Yeah, I imagine he just passes out just because he is like, that required him to just basically like power up in a huge way, you know, that he haven't done in a long time.
I see.
It's like overuse, like it's like suddenly using like a muscle that you haven't used in ages, you know, and just going full nuts with it. He probably just we see this absolute just like smack with this fence, and then he just stands like stands there for a while, looks at the rest at Vanguard and Trespass, and it's like, I'm done with you all, and he just passes out on top of the guy in the fence.
So let's see. I suppose we what we should do. This is I'm into your description. The overusing of your powers can definitely be a factor in this, but we should honor the fiction of the move, and the fiction of the move is that you take a powerful blow for this to happen. So this is happening in response to like him. Engaging.
Let's change the visual.
Go on.
I mean, we can change the visual just to when after the hit, probably the dust kicked up. The dust settles, and he's probably just being stabbed with the blade, like run through.
That could be the case if you want to like go for that. I was thinking like that you like swing the like knock the blade out of his hand like as he's coming in, and him like punching you on like the side of the neck or something before you like wedge him under the fence, and then you like lose consciousness following that.
I mean,
but whatever you choose, because your option is a good deal more real and means something different. So I'm all about that if you want it.
For the dramatic situation, I think the option would be just stabbed.
All right, we'll go with stabbed.
Because the guy is still restrained. The guy in the end is still restrained and has lost control of his weapon, but you know, my character still passes out.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes total sense. So yeah, as this thing happens and as the dust clears, the guy is like wedged under an iron bar fence, jabbed into the sidewalk. But the rest of you, of course, observe Recon falling over injured. The hilt of like a handheld blade adorning his form in a very unwelcome way. What are you doing there, Trespass? Oh yeah, you were holding the guy down. That's right.
I'm holding the guy down. Although I wouldn't mind, you know, knocking him out and taking whatever it was he was running away with, so I can help my teammate.
This is totally a thing you can do. Although you punch him and knock him out. You don't even need to roll for that. This is the thing. That
I mean,
happens.
exactly.
And you can like go through his belongings.
Yeah.
Would you mind if I then look at Vanguard, because I
No, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine.
cool.
I mean, it'll take a little while anyway before she finds whatever it was and got handed off, obviously.
Yeah, pat him down and like, oh, this was
Yeah.
the thing. Like, okay.
For someone walking by, it looks like she's feeling him up.
For someone walking by, they're keeping their distance from the smoking wreckage of the of the bike and the gunfire and all the jazz. But yeah, you're
People
right.
and their weird sensitivities, I don't get them.
Right? Like, what? Haven't these people watched Mad Max? Like, this is normal. Vanguard.
Oh yeah, Road Warrior.
What do you do?
I definitely gonna head over and help Recon since he has, a blade stuck in him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
is the guy that he has pinned, is he still conscious or struggling against him?
Well, I am.
Well, it's like a human sandwich. There's the guy, the fence, and Recon on top of it.
Okay.
So in that case, he's still conscious. He did get smacked with a fence, and he's like clearly like a little bit like wafty, but he's not like out.
Ooh,
Okay.
I have horrible pun.
Tell me your horrible pun.
Recon, that's not how you fence.
Oh, bad.
That's why.
He will need some fencing lessons.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he will.
Worst. Okay.
I did warn you.
Yeah, you did. I set myself up for that. I get it. So you want to like go towards Recon to help him out. Now, as you do this, I should warn you, because you may elect to act on this or not. As you're moving towards him, and as I said, like as the dust is clearing, you also spy the third one, the driver of the first vehicle, who is not currently pinned pinned under a fence or pinned under a trespass, but is in fact still very much present. The guy who threw the shuriken at you, that guy is lining up to jump trespass from behind.
Okay.
Now,
In that case,
I'm telling you this so that you can tell me what your focus is.
yeah. I'm going to try and stop the guy who's going to jump trespass.
All right, you may roll to directly engage.
Yep. Gonna fire a special arrow at him.
Tell me about what you're doing before I make the assumption that you're directly engaging.
Yeah, I pull out another arrow, take aim and fire it. This is a steel net arrow, so it's going to explode out and wrap the guy up.
Cool. I still see a directly engaged, so please make the roll.
Okay. Jesus. Okay.
You shoot out the net. You hit him. You shoot the arrow. The net flies through. He vaults it.
Do I become aware of his presence because of the noise behind me then?
Oh my god. Oh my god. No, I'm not gonna do this to you. I was so tempted to let you be hit by that. Like to have you be in the line of fire. You're not gonna get snagged by the net trespass. It's okay. I'm so close. So a net flies past you, trespass. And yeah, like as you're like, what the? You see a person descend upon you, like from the air as he has vaulted the net, coming down on top of you, like
All right.
bringing his heel down in like a martial arts move as he does so.
Right.
Vanguard, you missed. Also, you feel pretty guilty about like the recon thing. Please take an appropriate condition.
All right, I'll take guilty.
I will definitely try to do something to the guy coming down on top of me here.
That makes sense to me. What are you doing?
I am going to meet. I'm going to kick upwards to meet his kick because if I can tip him over while he's still in the air, he's going to come down badly.
Hey, do you want to unbalance him?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's have a kung fu off. Roll to directly engage.
Cool.
There it is. There it is. Pick one.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick a temporary or unstable.
Oh, sorry, you're directly engaging. So pick
Oh,
one
right.
from that list.
All right. Just give me a second. Why is it so? What the heck? Sorry, something has happened to my.
That's okay.
Here we go. Directly engage. Right. Well, that's pretty easy. I'm going to avoid his blow.
Awesome. Okay, so
I kick upwards to make him unbalanced while rolling sideways,
yeah, and then you
meaning that he doesn't come down on top of me.
he doesn't. He gets unbalanced for a moment, and you can plant a swift kick in his center mass. He goes down. You outfight this nerd, sending him sprawling to the ground in a cool superheroic move of kung fu. A moment of quiet passes over the street. Well,
A tumbleweed comes across.
Yes, there's the smoking bike is still a thing, but your foes are vanquished.
Right. I will pick up the nets that flew past and use it to hogtie these assholes. While I still manage to, grab whatever it was that was handed off to this dweeb.
All right.
And then when I've tied them up, I'm going to take a speed marker or, like a felt tip. And I'm going to write on their foreheads, on both of their foreheads, I'm going to write Blood Rose.
Cool.
And just leave them there for the cops to pick them up.
While this is happening, what are you doing, Trespass? Sorry, Trespass, what? I meant Vanguard.
I am, now that I see that Trespass has that under control, I'm going to go over and check on Recon.
He's injured.
Yeah.
He's a knife in his gut.
He has something long and hard stuck into him.
Oh, you had to.
He has been roughed up earlier today. He has body tackled a steel fence, and he's been.
He has
stabbed.
suplexed a bike. Don't forget about it.
Suplex the bike, but he did that so skillfully it did not hurt him.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly just knock out the dude who's below. Below him, make sure he doesn't get away. And then, extricate Recon from the steel fence and see what kind of help I can offer him. Though probably not much.
Yeah, you need like a first aid kit. Maybe if you knew someone nearby.
Yeah, I leave the knife in, I think, for now, and kind of sling him over my shoulder, and make my way back to Trespass. He's really hurt. Do you know anybody that we can take him to?
Entry lives just down the street. I'm not even gonna make a roll for that.
Take him to entry.
All right, I head that way then.
That would be the best option. She thinks for one moment, she thinks about Dr. Cutler, and then...
Yeah, that's why I asked you.
Yeah.
You should feel very welcome to go with Dr. Cutler instead if you don't want to go to entry.
No, I really...
I don't know where your mind's at. Okay, so you hogtie the two individuals.
Yes.
You mark them, and then you rummage through one of them's possessions, and you extract from his person. Like a folded Velcro, like little black foldy thing that has like some papers inside it.
I take that, I pat his cheek, and I tell him, "Your time will come, asshole." And then she leaves.
He bubbles at you unconsciously. The little birds flying around his head flip you off.
He's just if you raise one of his eyelids, it'll say "out to," and on the other one, if you lift the other one, it'll say "lunch."
Yes. All right. So yeah. And both of you go to Entry's place.
Yep.
All right. Well, in that case, this is an obvious place to end it. Is everyone good with that?
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
I am good with this.
Cool. Then we know what's up next time. Let us, in fact, take our end of session moves.
Yes.
Starting with as we have a habit of doing, we shall start with Moira. Moira, would you please take your end of session move? Are you pondering or are you muted? I can't hear you. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume you're muted.
She might not be at the computer for a
That
few
could
moments.
be the case. While we figure out whether or not she is and give her some time to come back, why don't we move on to the next one in line then? And ask you, Entry, to take your end of session move.
I think that's difficult actually, because I could definitely go with growing away from the team, but I also feel like I grew closer to Moira.
Mm-hmm.
And since the other one is troublesome, I'm going to grow closer to the team, specifically Moira.
Want to feel better? Cool. Yeah, Moira made you feel welcome. I can see why. Give influence to Moira.
Here you go, Moira. You have an influence.
Does she already have influence? I guess I'll find out. Let me have
don't
a look
know.
at her character sheet. Just working from the assumption that AJ still isn't back. She does. Yeah, she does.
Right,
Cool.
then I'll let AJ know to change my scores when she gets back.
Yep, seems good. Trespass. What's your
Yes.
session move?
She definitely grew closer to the team here.
All right.
And not surprisingly, it's Vanguard making her feel that way.
Okay. Please give influence to Vanguard.
I
I'm
think
gonna
he
go out on a
already
limb and
has it.
says he has it. What would you like to change, Vanguard? Test. Are you with me, Thalmud?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, cool. There we go. You get influence over Trespass, but you probably already do have it, so you instead get to change her labels.
Yes. Go Savior up and Freak down.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, in that case, you can continue on then by telling me what your end of session move is.
Definitely grew closer to the team.
All right. Who made you feel welcome?
Trespass.
All right.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume that Trespass has influence over you already.
Yeah, she does.
Yes.
What would you like to change then, Trespass?
I think I'm going to move his danger up by 1 because that little stunt with the shuriken getting shot out of the air was pretty awesome. However, he did have to make a difficult choice in who to save, so I'm going to move his savior down by 1.
Oh yeah, he failed to run to the side of his friend. Yeah, this is true.
I like it.
Good job. Recon, your end of session move, por favor.
Well, he grew up. He grew into this own image of himself, and his image of himself is. It's like, oh my god, I have my I have my power again.
Hooray!
It's like we still know how to do this. We still know how to do this, and
So tell me something. I have a question for you about that.
mhm.
Is this confusing to you? Because I worked from the assumption that your character always thought that your power were tied to the things that the order gives you, right? The Lady of the Lake and all that jazz. how do you feel about this? Like, can you give us a little tidbit of Recon's state of mind?
Well, he's still probably really confused about why does he have the power back, but he is just really stoked about it's like he's really stoked about having it, like kind of like internally stoked about having it back, just because it's the thing that he it's, I mean, is it as you would imagine? It's like missing, like you would have the power in real life, like this kind of power in real life, that somebody just took it away from you. You feel like weak and quote unquote normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you suddenly get it back, so you feel like this kind of like this rush of,
Yeah, I see you. I see what you're saying. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
It's like a drug.
What
We have Aya
changes will
back,
you
by the
make
way.
Oh, hello AJ, welcome back. What changes will you be making to your labels?
I think he will move his superior down. No, wait. Yeah, I think he'll move his superior down. Right. Definitely his freak will go up by 1. Just because he's just on this like kind of power rush. But I think his superior will go down by 1, just because he's on the, he's just on this kind of like a weird power rush right now. Just like he's kind of like going down on this whole hero thing, but he's like, oh, we like.
It feels like
we have the toys back.
I mean, I also feel like you did a good job of presenting someone who like very much would not believe like he is in control of everything, right? Like clearly some things are happening to Recon that he's not super down for, and that he's not like calmly in control of, right? There's some emotions flaring, some relationships like shuffling around that like are weird and upsetting to him. So it makes sense that he wouldn't be like feel like king shit of Turd Mountain and feel all in charge of everything in his life.
Yeah,
That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't feel in control, but he's kind of like riding the wave right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Good job. Now, welcome back, AJ. So we passed over you for the end of session move. Before you take yours, I need to double check that you're actually here, by the way. Can you make yourself heard to me for a moment?
No.
Thank you. Entry chose to grow closer to the team with you as the object of his feeling welcome. So since you already have influence over him and he gave you influence, you need to change his labels. What would you like to change about Entry?
Why did he feel closer?
Well, probably because of the whole like first aid, hug, snuggling, and helping each other out.
Oh, then his freak absolutely goes up.
Sure. I'm hanging out with the freak.
Yeah.
And what
goes down?
You're embracing the freak.
But be wary. To embrace a serpent is to invite poison into your heart.
She's a constrictor, not a bloody thing with poison.
Cobra!
I know, but how often do I get to make that Tony J quote in a context that is even remotely like appropriate?
Good question. Probably never.
And I'm taking your superior one down. Because this was a calming experience.
There you
Fair
go.
Be
enough.
down to earth
Again,
with a freak.
clearly there is a lot of confusion going on in his life. It makes sense that he doesn't feel all in charge of everything.
Not at all. He was hitting on his sister.
Yeah.
He's knuckling up to someone who likes women.
It's just such a confusing time.
It's so confusing. He went into his midlife crisis already.
It's the most confusing time of the year. But okay, thank you for that. Anyway, let's get on to your end of session move then, Moira. What will you pick for your move?
She grew to her own image of herself.
Sweet. And what is that?
She's a dangerous monster and can't be trusted anywhere.
Oh, the angst. Oh, you poor thing. I love it. Cool. Okay, well, shift one label up, another down.
Danger goes up and her mundane goes further down.
Delightful. Your mundane is what now? -3?
-2 and her danger is 3. Her freak is 3. Her savior is 0 and her superior is -1.
Right.
She has all 5 conditions.
Yay, condition buddies!
Yay!
You two need some comforting and supporting and some overacting and having a bad time.
Well, but
It
now
would work if the only 2 people who weren't so encumbered by conditions could stop knocking each other.
But now, at least now I'm Mars hopeless, so next time I go on a bender, it actually will create something.
Hooray!
Woohoo!
Okay, well, thank you all for taking your moves. Thank you for playing. Always, like, super good stuff. I am super invested in your, like, weird, like, mutual, like, confusion and anger and lovey feelings. It's all so very good and delightful and teenage. I'm all about that. So thank you very much for sharing that with me. You're always a delight to GM for. Thank you, dear viewing audience, for tuning into this game. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and a comment. And if you didn't enjoy it, leave a dislike and a comment. Share with your friends. And be back next time for even more Misfits on CharismaToAC. In the meantime, bye!
Boy!
Toodle pip.
And remember, children, sharing is caring. Bye.
No, it isn't. It's mine.
Lies! Alright, bye everyone.